What is going on, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Today, we're talking about ranked, and we're talking about winning ranked games. Now, I know some of you may not care too much about winning your games. Some people on the other side are like, I'll play 90 games straight of OP Robin just to win some MMR. So I'm going to be giving you guys 5 gods, one in every role, to be playing to win MMR right now on patch 10.7. Starting within the jungle, pretty obvious. Kali. Protector, Golden Blade, Kins, Hasten, Serrated, Odibo. Her build has not changed for a while. It is still busted. She is still busted. Her nerf did not matter. She's good early. She scales well into the late game, and she 1v5s at the 30-minute mark around EFG timer, and you can actually just solo win games by yourself. Now, another god I want to touch on quick is Robin, because Robin is still unbelievably good. I thought he was going to be a lot better in the solo lane, but I think I'm going to put him as a jungler right now. This is his build. I think you can opt into something other than Archdruids. You can switch up the build a little bit, but this is kind of what Adapting was running when he was playing a lot of Robin. So the build still feels very good. Robin is absolutely busted. Kali's absolutely busted. They're both banned nearly every game at my MMR. Maybe you guys can get them a lot more, but those are the 2 gods in the jungle I'd be playing. In solo lane, Wukong is absolutely just ruining games. Bluestone Brooch, Glad Shield, Manticore, Brawlers, Archdruids, and Reverend. This is kind of what the build has been looking like. I've seen a ton of brawlers on Wukong solo. It makes it so you don't really have to build another anti-heal option when you're diving in the late game. With this build, you could dive in, you can do damage, and you don't have to worry about the enemy ADC life-stealing all his health back on top of you. And it's been kind of said and beaten down that you don't really need a ton of magical defense on this character because you're super slippery anyway. You can go into the cloud if you're about to take a big burst of magical damage. You can just dash away if you are, or you can just kind of juke around. So you don't really need a ton of magical defense. That's why you don't see any true magical defense. You have one physical defense item, but Wukong is a slippery character anyway, and you want that little extra damage just to be able to 1v1 or 1v2 in the enemy backline. Number 3, I'm just going to give you guys this Kuzenbo build. I'm not having Kuzenbo on this list again. You guys know Kuzenbo's OP. I say it every day. I say it everywhere. Kuzenbo is busted. This is the build that I'm running on him right now, but I don't want to just beat the dead horse and say Kuzenbo. Also, just to make sure this is known, I go Glads or Contagion, and then maybe I'd switch up the Pesty if I don't need any more anti-heal. But this kind of just depends on if I want Contagion's anti-heal or Pesty's anti-heal, or if I prefer just Glad Shields, just straight up damage. The god we will be talking about is Bacchus. And I actually made a video about a week ago about this Bacchus build. The only thing I switched up was the Sentinels into War Banner. Now, I've said it on stream a ton. I think War Banner is the best way to be playing support in ranked. I think the other Bow Sentinels and Benevolence are both very strong. I do think War Banner is the best way to gain MMR. It is absolutely busted in the early game. It gives you a good way to snowball, and it scales really, really well into the late game also. Prophetic, Gauntlet of Thebes, double stack on Bacchus. Bacchus is one of the few characters in the game that even if you're double stacking on him, his base damage is already high enough, and his survivability is already pretty high, where going these 2 doesn't make your build feel all that worse. So I like double stacking on him, and then I like going into Reverend Pridwin. You'll see a lot of Reverend Pridwin. I think nearly every tank should be building this item. I think it is better than the other one now. And then you have 2 different ways to play into the late game. You have Contagion, Archdruids for a little bit more damage, and then you have Emperors and Pesty for, you know, sieging, and then a little bit of more anti-heal on the Pestilence too. But these are what the build is looking like for Bacchus. 1v5 machine. He is so strong right now. Also for Mage, I'll touch on Baba quick because she is still insane. The only thing I'd probably change out with this build right now is I just take out the E-Staff after it got nerfed. So you just be doing this instead. It is insane. It is busted. It will win you games. Baba is still busted, so I didn't want to just mention her again. The real mage we'll be talking about is Agni. Now, Agni's a little bit more convoluted than a lot of other gods, where he has 2 build paths, and it kind of comes down to which path do you prefer. Both are very strong, but they're stronger in different ways. Conduit Chronos Pendant into Spear, Karen's Coin, Reaver, Obshard is the first path. Now, keep in mind, if they have healing, what do? We build anti-heal. Good job, guys. So if they have anti-healing, instead of Spear, go Divine. That is the one thing that I'll say, and it'll be for this one too. If they have healing, go anti-heal. This build comes online very quickly. Conduit gets you to clear very quick. Chronos Pendant allows you to harass. Your damage is not going to be too high with these 2 items, but you'll farm very fast, and you'll be able to rotate really fast. Spear, Karen's, Reaver, Obshard, just to finish out the build. You'll do a lot of damage, but it is slightly to the early game with this build. The late game build, Sands, Karen's Coin, Spear, Reaver, Obshard, E-Staff. Once you get to the late game with Pendulum, Karen's Coin, and then just all this other damage and survivability, you are a 1v5 machine and you can actually kill anyone who comes in front of you. Both builds are very strong. Figure out which build you like more, but they're both very, very strong in their own rights. And then for ADC, again, Iris has had, in my opinion, a couple slow responses to some busted gods. Marty, absolutely busted in duo lane right now. Failnaught has kind of taken the place of Titan's Bane in the build. Bluestone, Trans, Soul Eater, Failnaught, Heartseeker, Crusher. Failnaught feels very, very good here instead of the Titan's Bane. It gives you full cooldown. You'll be short a little bit of pen, but you'll make up for it in survivability and actually a little bit of burst on the Failnaught. Stooch to the hooch. Congratulations on your 10k gems. Love that notification system. This is what the build is looking like. Marty's still busted, but I'm not going to spend time talking about Marty because everybody knows he's busted. I'm going to talk about Olorun. This character is insane. I thought he was going to be a little bit lower on the win rates. I don't usually love bringing up win rates, but it's interesting to see like how much he actually succeeds at lower ranks. And I thought Olo would be not succeeding at lower ranks, but he's at almost a 55% win rate at the, silver all the way up to platinum diamond area. 55% win rate. Olo's build, Diamond Arrow, Telkines, Demonic, Typhon's Rod, I think are all staples. Where I differ with some people is I think Cyclopean Ring is a complete bait item. It is a max health or magical damage based off their max health item, but it's a proc item that has a cooldown that gets reduced for every auto you hit. So you can maybe do a little bit of damage with it. But the biggest thing with Cyclopean is that the damage is actually coming out to less damage than Telkines at nearly all points in the game. And I think you can just get like a better item, like a survivability item, i.e. Berserkers. If they have a lot of CC and you're worried about getting bad beads or bad Aegis off, you could go Magi's. I think there's just better options than Cyclopean here. And with how much damage Olorun's kit has, feel free to go a tank item like the Berserkers. If they have a lot of magical damage, go a Shoguns. Like I said, a lot of CC, Magi's. It'll feel a whole lot better to have that survivability item a lot than to have the Cyclopean item. You can go Cyclopean if you do win a lot, you do like it. Feel free. I'm just saying I wouldn't recommend building it. I don't think it's very good. I think there's better options, but that's just me. But there it is. Ends up being like 9 gods I think can help you guys win ranked games. Feels bad just bringing up the same gods again, so I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to move on to some other gods. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.